In recent UK politics news, concerns have been raised about the potential for voter ID laws to disenfranchise certain groups. The government argues that voter ID is necessary to prevent voter fraud and maintain the integrity of the electoral system. Critics, however, argue that voter ID laws disproportionately impact marginalized communities who may face greater barriers to obtaining identification. They argue that this could result in voter suppression and undermine the principles of a fair and inclusive democracy. The proposed voter ID laws would require voters to show an approved form of identification before casting their ballot. Acceptable forms of ID would include passports, driving licenses, and certain types of photo ID cards. Opponents worry that these requirements could hinder certain populations, such as elderly, low-income, and minority voters. They argue that these groups are less likely to possess the necessary identification and may face difficulties obtaining it. Some opponents suggest that voter ID laws could have a partisan impact, with marginalized groups tending to vote for more progressive candidates. Supporters of the proposed laws argue that voter ID is a reasonable safeguard against voter impersonation and fraudulent voting practices. They point out that many other countries, including some European nations, already have voter ID requirements in place. Critics counter that evidence of widespread voter fraud in the UK is scarce, making the need for such laws questionable. They also raise concerns about the potential cost and administrative burden of implementing voter ID measures. Opponents favor alternative measures to enhance election security, such as improving cybersecurity and strengthening voter registration systems. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.